Happy Devils Sunday. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast. 9 p.m. or should I say 9:05 p.m. Eastern edition. Ha 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 ha. The fake laugh. Ha 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 ha. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter X Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Coming live from the Primetime Radio Studios from the mountaintop with the mountain view.
Yep.
And Scotty's Michael J. Fox, I don't know, palace or small apartment?
Palatial
Small
apartment
sounds. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's palatial apartment. Here we go. That's much better. Hey, we're 1-1. 1-0-1.
Hey, 1-0-1. 1-0-1. 3 points. 3 out of
1-0-1.
4 points is not a bad way to start the season.
I'll take
Although we're starting to tinker with lines already, as news has come out that Lindy Ruff has taken Andre Palat and put him up to the top line with Nico and Meyer, and that's fine. It's early in the season. This is time to start tinkering with lines and see what works and see what kind of shakes out of it. So he says he wants to get a little bit more offense out of that top line or top, whatever, line A, line B, whatever they call it. So we'll see how that goes, but I think it's a relatively good move. Early, so who cares? It's kind of like, do whatever you have to do.
Oh my gosh, let's panic with one of the deepest top 6 in the league. Let's panic. So what? They want to tinker with lines. That's just what it's a hockey move. It's what you do. If you see, that's what you want your coach to do. If you see something that may not be working like you were hoping it would work, you move a player or two. That's just what you do. It's to me that's a hockey move, and I'm okay with that. Hey, you know what? It was an opening night where we did not hear "Fire Lindy," and I was happy with that.
Yeah,
you and I were both.
He actually got a pretty good ovation.
He did. You, I, and Sam were there, and much different than last year's opening night. Last year was opening day. It was on a Saturday. Much better. Lindy got a much better reception this year than last year, so I'll take it. And if I'm not mistaken, boys, there was a live podcast out on Edison Place that was pretty damn good too.
Oh, it's a beauty.
Did any of you catch the name of that podcast?
Yeah, they're called a bunch of jerks with a microphone. That's what I hear they're called these days. I'm losing my voice and I sound like Chris Farley if I do it the right way. And Gilmore, thank you. I am growing the beard out a little bit longer.
Not
bushy.
Not so much
wintertime.
Not so much here, but right here.
Right here. Yeah, it's about a baker's dozen. That's gonna make it for me.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was fun, dude. We had Chico Rush on the podcast. Good friend Chico Rush on the podcast.
Absolutely.
And just in that environment, the whole scene, Scotty, I wish you could have been there, bud.
Yeah,
because
seriously, Scotty, we gotta get you out there for the next opening night next year because it's
Miss Graybush.
It's one thing for the 3 of us to be there, but for the 4 of us, it's a totally different vibe, Scotty. We got to get you out there.
We'll try to make it at. Well, we have the outdoor game coming, so we will bask in that glory as well when we come to it. But hello to everybody on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Twitch. Welcome into the first one of the with the season underway over here. And a first good
Absolutely.
2 first games. The second one, they obviously blew it there at the end. They didn't hold on to it. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how long Palat lasts up there on the first line. Lindy has been known to kind of shuffle things around. We've seen that quite often with him. Last year, we talked about it quite often, how he was always able to push the right buttons at the right time. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the lines, shuffled around a little bit. One thing to note, along with, Nolan Foote being injured, Thomas Noshik also has gone down with I believe it's an upper body. I don't know if it was an LBI or a UBI. I think it was an upper body injury. And so you should probably expect Curtis Lazar back in the lineup tomorrow night when the Devils play the Florida Panthers. But let's hope that this is not the start of one of those, quote unquote injury bugs start going through the team or whatever. And they can stay as healthy as they possibly can. Because when they're healthy and they're rolling, man, this team is just nasty.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, I got to say, Stephen Engel brings up a great point on YouTube Live. He says, Florida's desperate tomorrow night for a first win. By the way, I'll be there tomorrow night. I'll probably lose my voice even more, but they're a big, heavy team. They're desperate. But the upside of that is it doesn't feel like we have that team that's going to be pushed around, like where it's going to be too small. You could bring Lazar back into the lineup. That's going to help. You have Timo Meier in the lineup. That's going to help. In years past, I would be a little bit nervous going into Monday night's game, but I feel like the Devils have something to prove too. They didn't win the first two games like handedly. They didn't walk away like, oh man, we just crushed 5-2 or 6-1.
Mm-hmm.
Like they won their home opener, but they didn't look great. They looked good. They didn't look great. And then, on Friday night, they go down 2-0. And they have to claw their way back. And, they took the lead at one point, and then, Arizona comes back and ties it up, and they lose in a shootout, which the biggest waste of human life shootouts are. But, all things being said, they didn't look great. They still need a lot of tinkering. So what Lindy's doing is fine.
Yeah, it's game 2. It's game 2 in a young season. And we're going into game 3 tomorrow. And let's not forget, we're going into game 3 tomorrow against last year's Eastern Conference champion Florida Panthers. We cannot forget that. This is a good team. Whether or not you believe they should have been there or not, that's another story. They were there. They were in the Stanley Cup Finals against the Vegas Golden Knights. This is last year's Eastern Conference final team. So as far as the East is concerned, this is the top team to beat, because this is the team that beat out all the rest of us in the Eastern Conference last year. And you're right, Beer Baron. We did not look great. I said this on Devils After Dark on Thursday. We gave up 10 shots in the first 9 minutes and 30 seconds on Thursday. That was not a great stat for me, as far as I'm concerned. And then going down 2-0 against what I think personally is going to be a very sneaky good Arizona team. You know what? We had the fight against them. And we had to claw back into that game. And if it wasn't for that goal, found a hole to tie it up at the end of the third. Akira Schmid made the right play. The blocker just missed it on that shot. That was a perfectly placed shot, and it goes to overtime, and it goes to a shootout. And at that point, it's anybody's game. And we had our chances. Jack had a bunch of chances in the overtime. On Friday, I was hoping like hell he was going to score, because that would have been great for me fantasy-wise. I probably would have beat my buddy Marty if Jack would have put one home in overtime on Friday, but he didn't, so I'm going to lose. So, it is what it is.
Boo to that.
Yeah, boo to that. I was going to say other things, but I do not need to grant Marshall our own podcast, like Brian did on Devils After Dark. But overall, we didn't get blown out. We didn't lose a ridiculous lead like we did against the Jets. We're going into game 3, and it's still early in the season. And the Stanley Cup's not won in October. The Stanley Cup is won in June. So we got to remember that. Not that anyone's panicking, but remember, we don't win the Stanley Cup in October.
Yeah, I think the two main things for us to look at, just evaluating the team through 2 games. Let's just reiterate that part again.
Two whole games.
Yeah, 2 whole games. One is the slow starts in the first period. We saw a trend last season with the Devils coming out on fire and then going to sleep in the second period. This year, it seems they're coming out of sleep, and then they're going and lighting things up and, getting their legs on them by the end of the first, and then the second period is like a different team out there flying. Now, again, first 2 games, and these games were also back-to-backs, okay? But I would
There's
think
a few of them.
There's a lot of back-to-backs this season.
There are a lot of back-to-backs to start the season, which is really odd by the league, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day.
But the 2 things that I would think of is A, the slow starts, and B, giving up 4 power play goals in 2 games that penalty kill was just all over the place. And last game was a little bit on the refs calling. I couldn't even keep track of it. 4 on 3, 5 on 3, 4 on 4. Like,
oh my gosh. Yeah.
It was just a parade for both teams back and forth, and I made a joke that, a lot of slashing calls on Friday the 13th. Okay, I get it there, refs. Go ahead and have some fun. But I mean, like, it was getting a little ridiculous with the ticky-tack calls there. But still, 4 power play goals to give up in 2 games, that's not good, because that is how the Coyotes got back into this game. They scored on a power play in the third period to tie it up again. Brendan Smith taking a penalty where we see that before.
Mid-season form for
Brendan Smith already.
I thought the same thing on Friday. I was like, when his name was called for a penalty, I was like, oh man, it's only October and he's already looking pretty solid in the penalty department. It's like, holy hell. But even Jack losing the Lady Bing this early in the season is wild.
he only has
Jack.
He only
Jack,
penalties in 1 game.
Yeah.
It's got to be a first time.
Jack. Yeah, that's got to be the earliest a player has lost the Lady Bing in game 1. How'd you lose the Lady Bing this year, Jack? Well, I got 2 penalties in game 1, and that screwed me for the rest of the season.
And the second one, the first one was very questionable. That second one, he even said after the game, he's like, I got to check my emotions. He was like, that was definitely on me. That was a little ridiculous. Dude, you sometimes it happens. Like, the dude was laying on top of him. Nothing was being called. I could see you getting pissed off and frustrated and giving the guy a whack. But at the same time,
I'm okay with that, though. I am okay with that. I want a guy with passion. I want a guy that wants to win, and Jack has that. Like, fine, he doesn't win the Lady Bing this year. Fine, whatever. He gets pissed because he thinks he's slighted by the refs. Good, let him go slash a guy. I mean, as long as it's not to the detriment of the team, I want all 12 of the forwards and 6 defensemen and the 2 goaltenders to really give a care out there and show some passion. I almost Grant Marshalled the podcast because I was showing some passion in this little go at this. But yeah, that's what I want. I want to see passion out of these guys. And Jack showing passion there and getting 2 penalties, whatever, so be it. He loses the Lady Bing. I don't care. If he loses the Lady Bing and wins the Stanley Cup, I really don't care.
Yeah.
I'd rather have the latter of the 2 trophies. Thank you very much.
And I saw this on Friday, and I think it was JP already said it. No Jack in the shootout. Well, that's because we didn't get to the 3rd round. So I'm pretty sure Jack Hughes was lined up to come out and take that 3rd.
That's not necessarily true
in the shoot.
Not necessarily true. And
who do you think who else was going to come out?
In the past year,
it was Jesper. It was, remind me, it was Jesper and who else?
It was Jesper Bratt. Was it Timo that took the second one?
Well, the king of all shootouts is no longer on the Devils anymore, and that's Damon Severson, who is a lock to score a goal for a shootout. And you laugh, but he was actually pretty damn good in a shootout.
I'm pretty sure that Jack Hughes was ready to go there in that 3rd position. So, but we didn't get to it because we gave up 2 right in a row. So, the freaking shootouts are always going to be kind of a thorn in everyone's side. Hopefully, we won't be as bad as we were that one year where we lost like 18 shootouts consecutively that one season. Remember that one season where we just could not get a shootout victory at all?
Yeah.
That's when we sucked so bad. It was miserable to watch every game. And every time you got to a shootout, you're like, I'm going to my car. And if anybody's questioning you, you just point to the ice and be like, "This will be over in 5 minutes." I'm just beating the traffic.
Yeah.
Oh man,
dude, it's
traffic.
But yeah, I think it was
I gotta
Jesper and
say-
Timo that took that, and I just
Timo took
the way
Timo
Jack
took
Hughes
the first one.
Jack Hughes got 5 points in 2 games. I don't know how
Yep.
he can't be, up there as your anchor, as that third position for your shootout. So maybe Lindy
I'm not
had another
saying-
idea, but I'm going to say that Jack Hughes was probably right there.
But Jack Hughes statistically, and I could be wrong about this, but statistically is not that good in a shootout. And they might be going to somebody else because he is not that good in a shootout.
I don't know who else
And the
is got the pretty moves like that, but I would have to think that Lindy would have Jack ready to go in that anchor position there.
You would think that, but sometimes in a shootout, you want to go with a guy that people are not prepared for. Jack is going to be prepared for. Everyone's going to be like, all right, what's Jack going to do? Jack is going to be, okay, Jack's going to do this. He's going to dance. And so you're trying to get the goalie just to kind of stand pat. But, you get someone that you may not be prepared for and does well in a shootout. It's, I don't know. Shootouts are the anomaly for this league at this point. I don't know. It's not the team way to win it, but it is what it is at this point. And this is me talking as a goalie. It's definitely not a goalie's game. We did see Brodeur was one of the best of a goalie at the shootouts, cheating with that glove, bringing it down and getting him to shoot, and he'd get it. But I don't know. In case anyone's wondering, Jack Hughes in fantasy had 18.5 points in those first 2 games. So if you have Jack Hughes on your fantasy team like I do.
I do too.
And I do as well.
I probably still lost because I suck so bad at fantasy hockey. In my fantasy football, it's not panning out to be that much better.
Oh, my fantasy football is terrible.
Dude, I'm usually okay, but I just can't get away from the injury bug in the last couple years. I just lose everybody. I had Justin Jefferson gone. Anyways, before we go off on that tangent, go ahead, Scotty.
I was gonna agree with, because I see some people are debating. I have no problem with Jesper Bratt going first in the shootout. He does have a pretty
he's one of the most consistent.
Yeah, he's got a pretty sick move. So I think I'm totally fine with Jesper Bratt going first in the shootout. Timo, has done well in the shootout, I believe, as well. And so, yeah, I don't have any problems with that order or anything like that. Because Jesper he's got that sick move. He really does, that he can just pull out, and man, he's buried a bunch of them already. So, and yeah, he got stoned on a breakaway earlier, in the third period. So give him a shot to go ahead and totally redeem himself there in the shootout. But it didn't work out. It's a shootout. It sucks. But the Devils still got a point. Again, the penalty kill is what I think dug them under, giving up that power play goal in the third period. But I said this on Devils After Dark, down 2-0. I was just like, yeah, no big deal. That's fine. Yeah, I'm not worried. 2-0. Yeah, okay. Ooh, scary fingers. Ooh, 2-0. You think we can't score 2 goals? I mean, come on. I mean,
look at that goal
that right back.
The goal that Bratter scored too, that feed from Jack. I mean, the chemistry on that line is insane.
Oh,
and can only get better.
Slam shot, man, down to the knee and just
that hit a hole. That hole that Jesper hit was like this, and it basically hit I think it hit the goalie's skate before it went into the net. So there wasn't a lot that he had to shoot at, and he hit that hole. Holy hell, was that a great shot? Great placement. Man, that was fantastic.
I see a lot of people in the YouTube group talking about Jack not taking any crap from anybody. Yeah, he should stand up for himself, and he should play with a little bit of an edge. And the Lady Bing joke, whatever. All that aside, at the same time, you don't want him to try to put himself out there too physically. We also have guys on the team that should be able to step in if somebody's going after taking a run at Jack. You have
Mhm.
Curtis Lazar, you have Bastion, you have even Mikey McLeod. You have guys that are willing to drop the mitts, and hopefully you don't need Jack doing any of that, because last thing you need is him shattering his hand, punching somebody in the helmet, or doing something stupid like that. Yes, I agree. Stick up for yourself. If you get run in the corner, take a chop at a guy. Freaking putting his shoulder. By the way, that first penalty he took in that first game was not a penalty. He was
The Peter Forsberg move,
Oh,
dude.
he was
Yeah,
so
it's
pissed.
like,
where he
was so
just
pissed.
leans
Well,
back.
and rightfully
Yeah.
so. Where you're
He was
you're-
so
instead
visibly
of
pissed going into the
absorbing
box.
check. Yeah, instead of
Mhm.
absorbing the check, you're putting I forget what the hell they call it, but you're like checking into the dude that's about to hit you.
It's
And-
the Peter
Yeah,
Forsberg.
you're
That's
kinda
what he
going
used to
back
do all the
at him.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, dude, it's like that's a good. It's whatever. It was a good play. It was just over officiated. I like that. He said, like, after that first game, he was saying, like, blah blah blah. Yeah, it was a Jinsey call, and you could tell, like, in the back of his head, he's like, oh, I might get a fine for that one, because I know everybody gets so uptight, like, you can't badmouth the officials. Coach can't go out there and say anything bad about the officials. But the officiating it's been suspect. It's beginning of the year, so hopefully they'll
That's what I
kind of
was
work
thinking.
their problems out too. But I mean, especially last game, there's certain circumstances where, we're getting calls and like, it just let them play. I know it's not the 90s. I know it's not the 80s. You can't hook anybody. You can't Ken Danico somebody and jump on their back and ride them into the corner. But at the same time, things are going to happen. You can't keep stopping and going and stopping and going and stopping the game for every little damn call. You just let him play sometimes.
Yeah, and Beachmaster, I can see if they do call it an interference, but that penalty they called roughing on Jack Hughes.
Yeah, which
That's
was weird.
That was
That
yeah.
was
If
so
they called
weird
it an
they called that
interference, yeah, if they called it an interference call, then I probably maybe would have been able to live with it a little bit better. But yeah, they called it roughing, which is just
Yeah. When they showed that replay, the replay of that on the jumbotron at the game, and it was listed as roughing, it was like, how is that roughing? That was the question
Yeah.
going through my mind. Was like, how the hell is that a roughing call? Like, interference, yes, but roughing?
Even interference, the puck was there. Like, the puck wasn't. The puck wasn't being
I
played.
know.
But I mean, like,
Yeah.
he wasn't interfering with him. He was just he was bracing himself for a check. That's all he was doing, and he like pushed back into the check. That's it.
exactly. Yeah,
I think
Because
why they
whoever
called it
was
because
I was just gonna say whoever it was, I can't even remember. Wasn't trying to play the puck. They were trying to hit Jack. They were trying to check.
yeah,
him.
and I think the reason they got the call on Jack, or maybe what the referee was thinking, was that Jack came up into him and like went up into the head area, but never actually. I don't know if he actually hit him in the head, but maybe that's what the referee was seeing, and that's what he called as roughing. Because I know, listen, the NHL is cracking down on headshots. They are cracking, supposedly. This is all supposedly. They're cracking down on, anybody getting checked above the shoulders is going to be an automatic roughing call. So maybe that was within that gray area, but come on, it's just getting a little ridiculous.
Who had that one on the old bingo card? Jack Hughes being the first culprit of the
The roughing,
high roughing calls there. Yeah, the headshot roughing calls.
Yeah.
seriously.
Whatever.
Yeah, it was
Cider
side,
did,
right?
By the way,
It is what it
and
is.
Cider
He's a
did
big
yell
guy,
out really
too.
loud. He yelled out really loud where I was sitting up in the nosebleeds, and I was like, damn, I hope that was a Jack that just yelled.
Ow!
Yeah, ow! Hughes hit me. He hit me hard. He wasn't supposed to.
Headhunter Hughes.
Hey, I love it. Headhunter Hughes.
Oh gosh, that's too good.
And to answer a question that Art had before, will the Let's Go Devils podcast be at American Whiskey tomorrow? Yes. The answer is yes. We will be.
Yeah.
Or at least
Yes,
me.
yes, we will.
And Vinny.
You will be. Well, I plan to be live and online too if Sam will have me on tomorrow night. So if Sam will allow me to be on tomorrow, I will also join you and Vinny and Sam. But that's
And
up to Sam.
I'll be around afterwards too. So yeah, but just from
Oh.
LA, you know.
Yeah, from your palatial estate.
Palatial States here. Yeah.
Oh, here comes Sam. Here comes Sam with the
Uh-oh.
final word.
Oh boy. Here comes Salad
right.
Sam.
Salad.
Salad Sam.
Ugh.
Salad
We're gonna get it.
Sam.
We're gonna get it. Eat a
Salad
salad. Eat a salad.
That's all I get right now. When I walk around the arena, I met up with Erica Walker along the way. Hey Sam, are you hungry? You just right over there.
You should make it. They should make it your own like signature salad at American Whiskey. That it comes with like steak and chicken fingers and like rib meat and everything
and
else.
One piece
like
of lettuce.
One piece of lettuce on the bottom. Yeah.
That'll classify it as a salad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Meat lover's salad.
That's meat lover's.
It's like the.
It's because let's not forget a bunch of diced up chicken dumped in mayonnaise is considered a salad too. So
Yeah.
Hey, well, let's make it the.
Who was it? Oh,
Let's
oh
make
my
it
goodness!
the fat cats of.
Salalytics.
Oh yeah.
Instead of the
Salalytics.
beefalytics, we have salalytics now.
Should just make it like a
Yeah,
fat
right?
cat of salads, just to throw everything that you can think of. Mozzarella sticks,
Mozzarella sticks. Yeah.
French fries, whatever, ranch dressing. Was that a pork chop in there? Yeah. We call it the Fat Sam salad.
The Sam salad.
The Sam
So what's up,
salad.
Sam? You popped in here.
Oh, Shorts guy can go on Game Day Live. That's fine.
Oh, thank you, Sam. Thank you,
Yeah.
Sam.
All right.
I feel honored.
Yeah.
I feel honored and privileged to be on Game Day Live tomorrow with Beer Baron and Vinny.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, before you know it, when we're doing Game Day Live at American Whiskey, we'll be able to drink our brand new beer and Crew Brew live and on camera. Which Beer Baron, did you get a chance to try it yet or no?
Not yet, because I went to a wedding on Friday and I got drunk beyond drunk, and then Saturday I was just licking my wounds all day. Yeah, dude. That's also
But you
why
had all day
I
today.
lost.
You had all day today.
Yeah. I know.
Sam's
I
got
will
a beer tower he's going to chug from
Yeah, I know.
on Game Day Live.
He apparently bought a few. I'm like, what the hell do you
Yeah.
need a few of them for?
So let's put it this way: I have not seen Sam drink a lick of beer in ever, and Sam tried
In
our
ever.
beer in ever. Sam tried our beer, and even he liked it. And I will say that I love the beer. So again, a big shout out to Brian and Departed Souls. He came up with a beer that's just fantastic. And I was just marveling at the color, just the color alone. Yes. I cannot wait to be able to pound a bunch of those beers. You know what I can't wait for? I can't wait to chug one of those beers with Max at American Whiskey.
Yeah.
Max
it's literally
must be,
the red that's in this can over here. That's like the color of the beer that you see on the screen in the corner. It's awesome. And it was super cool getting to talk to Brian from Departed Souls.
Yep.
And just hearing his story, being a fan and making some brews. And I was just rad, man. It was a great night. Everyone on the street partying. Like, that was a ton of fun.
Yeah, that was definitely fun.
Shorts guy said something that was very apropos for Friday, or not Friday, for Thursday's game.
Thursday.
He's like, it felt like we left off. Yes,
where we picked up where we left off.
Picked up where we left off. Like, it was a party in the street. It was such a good time, like the whole vibe. And like in years past, like you just be happy because it's the home opener. You're like, hey, hockey's back. I can't wait to cheer on another team during the playoffs. And it was like, that's half the people there. But like, you watch the crowd, and it was like everybody was pumped just because they knew that the expectations of the season, yes, as high as they are realistically high. And I think we kept
Yeah.
saying that over and over. Like, it feels so good because, the year that they had Taylor Hall and then they went out and they got Gusev, and we're like, oh, they got PK Subban.
Such high hopes.
Wow.
Such high hopes. We're
We
like,
went
oh
into
my
that
gosh,
season
this
like,
is it.
yeah,
Who's got
we
that?
went,
We should add that to the Vern Fiddler jerseys, the Gusev jersey.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The goose.
well, we had a
I
whole,
made a bunch of shirts. I had to donate.
there's a kid in some country now walking around with a Gusev shirt. That shorts
Yeah.
guy made.
Yeah, I don't. That's why I don't like player
Two for
specific
one
shirts.
now, right
just
now.
why- yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
More like a 5 for 1. It's just getting rid of the surplus.
Oh my god! But yeah,
Man.
that was the last time I felt like we were like kind of excited, but it was always like this apprehension. Like, yeah, we're so pumped. PK is going to be great, right? Right? Like, right?
Oh.
Like, we had to convince ourselves of so much. This year it's different. This year it's way, way different. And I mean,
PK is great on
He
ESPN
is.
pregame and
Well,
postgame show. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Especially
Oh,
during
yeah,
the playoffs when they were playing the Rangers, and he was like repping the Devils so
Oh,
hard.
he was
Much
see
love
him?
for him for that.
On Thursday, he came out like the whole he came out like a wrestler. He came out like Rob Van Dam. He had this big Devil's jacket on, like the curtains open and everything. He's like pointing to his back and everything.
It's amazing.
It was pretty. It was good,
Oh
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
much
PK
love
on
to
the
PK.
Devils.
Much love.
Not the best, but PK in the old ESPN set over there does a good job
entertaining.
repping this team.
He's entertaining. He's entertaining. And yeah, he does rep this team. He does. You can tell he definitely loves his team because
Yeah.
he's just the way he is. But yeah, Beer
Yeah.
Baron. I said those words because that's what it felt like on the street on Thursday. It felt like we just picked up where we left off in that Hurricane series. It's like, holy crap. Like that atmosphere that we felt in the playoffs last year, I had not felt that atmosphere on that street ever. And here it is, game 1, new season, and that atmosphere was just the same as it was in playoff time. And if this is the atmosphere, if this is the atmosphere in game 1, like holy hell, imagine what the atmosphere is going to be like in game 1 of the playoffs in game 83. So game 1 was great.
The outdoor game.
Oh my gosh, the outdoor game is going to be the outdoor game. That's a whole in a whole other spectrum of its own, and that's going to be wild as anything. And that's going to be the 4 of us live and in person, chugging our beer. However, man, if Thursday is an indication of what the rest of the season is going to be, and we get to the playoffs, which you never want to guarantee that. But game 83, if game 83 is half of what game 1 was like, it's going to be insane. And it's just going to be so much fun. And Scotty, you saw it on Devils After Dark. It was still a party outside in the street.
Oh yeah.
That's the way it was. That's the way it was in April and May. It's just a party on the street after the game. After, we lucked out. We lucked out. The weather was nice too, but we did the Devils After Dark in the street, and holy hell, that's what I want. Game 83, 84, 85. And then whatever game it takes us to get to the Cup Finals and eventually win the damn thing.
I started talking to do the recap of the game, and Shorts Guy and Sam were just getting hounded on the stage. They were selling T-shirts left and right. I mean, it was just like boom, boom, boom. It was awesome. And what a great,
man's got to make some money, man.
It's been a long time coming though for this team. We all remember those glory days from the 90s and the early 2000s. When this team was a legitimate threat, every single year, season in, season out. We knew we were at least getting to the playoffs. We had a couple early exits that, heartbroke us a number of times, but we knew we had the goods to get to the playoffs and make a run every single year. And this team is finally getting back to that stage of the perennial playoff contender. And it's just fun to see a young generation. It's not just us the same people there. There's a whole new generation of Devils fans, and let's keep this going. Hopefully, Jack Hughes and Nico and Jesper Brad and Luke and Dougie, instead of people becoming Ranger fans in the state of New Jersey, let's have them build a whole new foundation of Devils fandom. And I'm really excited for that prospect because I feel like we haven't had that since Zach. I feel like Zach was like our 100%. Superstar that was coming in,
That all in the parking lot. In the parking lot,
the Olympics
at Continental.
Yeah, when they went to the Olympics and they tied Canada, they ended up losing to Canada, but when they tied up Canada, that was such a momentous game there, and I really just feel like even though we had Taylor Hall and everything like that, it just wasn't the same. Now Jack Hughes to me, Nico Hischier, it feels like that era. That last time we had that was with a young homegrown Zach Parise.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
I'm gonna say this now, and I'm gonna say this once, and I won't say it again until it happens. The party on Edison Place when we win the cup, when we leave that building, is gonna be unreal.
Calling out of work for like 3 days straight.
Seriously, I don't know what it's gonna be.
Sleeping
my hope
in the
is
middle of the road.
My heart over my head says, hell yeah, this season. But when that happens, the party on Edison Place for Devils After Dark Championship Edition and DJ Biscotti and us pounding our beers on Edison Place is going to be unfrickin' real.
I'm riding a
cannot
horse.
wait.
I
cannot wait.
Wade Boggs style, just say I'm riding around on
a horse with my Marty gear on.
Yeah,
I already have it planned out.
So here's what it has. So here's what it has to beat. Here's what this is going to have to beat. When the Devils won in '95, I remember walking through the My dad and I are walking after the game. We get let out. See Scott Stevens raise the cup. I exploded as a seventh grader at that time. Well, I guess, newly end of the school year, June 24th. So I just remember hearing these loud bangs on the cattle cross on the chute that went up before you turned right to go across the highway. Just bang, bang, bang. And this loud cheer because they knocked one of the sheet metal panels off of the side of the cattle cross. They knocked one of the panels off, and there was bang, bang, and everyone was cheering because they were hanging off and out of it, just going absolutely nuts because we just won the cup. I want to eclipse that moment on Edison Place.
They better grease the poles.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, remember when they were climbing the light poles after Game 7?
Yeah, after they
they were like, please don't fall off the light poles. It's the last thing we need. The cops shutting it down because some idiot fell off the light pole. Like,
we're not Philly. We're not Philadelphia. Speaking of which, they lost today.
As far as I saw, the cops were real cool. The other night, we saw them roll through near the end of Devils After Dark. Sam gave me that look of like, I don't know if they're going to shut us down here or not. Let's wrap the show up now. So, yeah. But they were cool. They just kind of drove right through and didn't really bother anyone at all.
Frank has the police taken care of. That's all you need to know.
No, he does. Because no, I will attest to this. Every cop car that went by, they stopped by Frank. He shook their hand and they moved on.
Yeah.
They stopped by Frank. He shook their hand. They moved on. He has the police taken care of.
Yes.
So Frank's got him. Frank has him.
In a very legitimate way.
Oh, yeah.
He has the police.
He offers free meals, I'm sure.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's not like The Sopranos, even though we're from New Jersey. There's no vibe of that whatsoever.
Nope, not at all.
But
not
what
at
about
all.
the crowd behind us?
That was great.
Devils After Dark. I mean, they were just going strong pretty much the
much fun.
entire podcast. Yeah, it was
But that's
awesome.
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. This is the atmosphere in Game 1. Game 1. I can't wait
Yeah,
to
but
the
that's
I can't
also
wait to see the atmosphere in Game 83.
this team wins. This team wins. The fans come out,
Mm-hmm.
and we are some of the most loyal and diehard fans in the world because we've had to deal with the Rangers, we've had to deal with a lesser extent the Flyers, and even lesser extent the Islanders. And any real true Devils fan can attest to the fact that they've been heckled and whatever yelled at by especially Ranger fans, even after we won 3 cups. To go, what do you guys did? What do you do? Marty still sucks. Blah 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 blah. Even though we had the best goalie that ever played, even though we have 3 rings in our lifetime, we're spoiled because you think about teams like if you were a Buffalo Sabres fan, you'd be still thirsting to take a drink from the cup. But
Yeah, well, you had
we were
passion.
lucky
You had one of
enough.
the greatest of all time. You couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it. We had 3 amazing runs. We had 5 really amazing runs, but 2 didn't really end up so well. But
Yeah, well,
Rigged.
we will always, always. And this is what pisses me off when the team was losing. I used to say this all the time. Like, it would make me so angry to watch Devil fans fight with each other online. Like, what the hell are we doing?
mhm.
We're the only ones in this. We should have our back. We should have everybody that's a Devils fan should have each other's back through thick and thin, no matter what.
I wish.
When the
I
team's
wish.
good.
I wish.
Yeah, I wish too. I wish we were like, Shorts guy, you and I talk about this all the time. Like, my affinity for, soccer fans and especially in Europe, when you see like they just pour out of the stadium, it's loud and everyone's like, there's chanting and everything's going on. And it's like, I just wish that would happen to where this fan base would just finally galvanize each other and just realize we're all on the same team. We're
There
all
was a
rooting
little
for the
about-
same thing.
There was a little bit of that on Thursday. There was some of that on Thursday night when we were walking out of that building. I've got to admit, everyone was pumped. I was trying to get out of the building in time to do After Dark with Scotty and Sam, but everyone was just so pumped. The atmosphere, the air was like excited, and I'll say it again. That was Game 1. I want to see Game 83, 84, and beyond.
Yeah, dude.
And yeah, just real quick too. I don't know what happened, but I see a couple people talking about it in the chat. There's if that was Damian Harris, hopefully he's okay. He's getting stretchered out into an ambulance in the Giants Bills game. And it was kind of
Jesus.
saw out
That's
of the
not
corner of my eye over there. So yeah,
Not good.
I'm not sure who was that. Josh pointed that out. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but yeah, we'll hopefully ambulance, like just hope the best for the guy.
Never good. Yeah, that's never good.
Sorry,
Ambulance
didn't
is-
mean to change the subject there.
No, all good, all
No.
good. Yeah, no, it's
The reality of sports.
Unfortunately,
all
yeah.
these dudes.
yeah.
all these dudes are
unfortunately, yeah.
human. Yeah. it's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah. And he got hit in the chest really hard. Okay, well, hopefully he's all right. We'll
Those
see
are
what
scary
happens.
ones.
Yeah, hopefully it's not another cardiac incident with that team because Lord knows they already went through it once last year with Hamlin.
Well,
so
it's
they don't need to do
it
that.
sounds like it's not. So that's a good thing.
Was there a roughing call on it?
Probably it's the NFL.
Yeah, right. There's a flag for
oh.
nothing. He looked at me wrong. It's roughing. He
Yeah,
tried.
he sacked a quarterback. He laid on me.
Yeah.
He put his hand on
Yeah.
my helmet.
He put his hand in my field of vision. That's interference.
But yeah, either way, it's been a fun 2 games so
way.
far already this season. You see the
Mhm.
potential for this team. You see the offensive power that they have. Obviously, they got to shore up that defense a little bit more. I don't know about you guys. What is the the term limit here on Smith and Miller as that last pairing
Well,
defenseman?
Smith seems to be in midseason form already, so I don't know. I would
Yeah.
hope it's a short leash,
Mhm.
because he's got he's got a player in Nemec that's just dying to get into that role.
Yeah.
And is currently down there in Utica, and I'm sure wanting to be up with the big team. So you got to assume that Smith's leash is short, especially with what he's done in the first 2 games. It's like you said earlier, it's like, the penalty calls are made. It's like, oh, Smith. It's like, oh no, Smith, please don't do this again. But it's, again, and we discussed this last week. This is the great problem this Devils team has. We've got players where you're not doing your job. Guess what? Next guy's coming up. You're going to take a seat. Take a seat over there. We've got someone to fill your role over here. So that's a great problem that we have, and I would hope that his leash is short because we have that problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like Lindy being a little gun shy to go with 2 rookies in the lineup. It has
I
to
think
be that,
so.
right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, I would.
But I'm saying, like,
really...
what's the limit? Is it like a 20 game? Is it a 10 game? When do you think is the limit before? If this continues, if Brendan Smith the Giants just picked off Josh Allen. If the penalties keep, continuing with Brendan Smith,
Chico,
and if they put in Miller and he looks, unmotivated, like he's like, I don't really want to be here, just skating around, blah blah blah, like he was in the preseason. Hopefully that wouldn't be I'm hoping that wouldn't be the case. But what is the cutoff for you guys?
I would say 10 games. 10, yeah.
10 games? Okay.
Yeah.
10.
Okay.
Yeah, 10's got to be it. If Miller's up in the box and watching Brendan Smith take these penalties, he's got to be thinking like, holy hell, I can do so much better than this. At least a motivated player will look at the game and be like, I can go out and do what he's doing without taking those damn penalties. And hopefully trying to be like, all right, well, every day in practice, like, here's my shot, let me prove it. Here's my shot, let me prove it, and just keep plugging along and getting that opportunity. But yeah, 10 games has got to be the limit. Like, if Brendan Smith's going to keep taking these penalties in October, like it's freaking January, it's time for a change.
Woo! How about our man Arhegan? Hey, thanks for the super chat there, bud. Let's go, VTech.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't even touched the goalies. We haven't even touched on the goalies tonight.
Yeah,
which is odd for us. Usually they've been
Vite. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Vitek out of the 2, I think Vitek played much better than Akira. Akira played well on Friday, but man, Vitek had that barrage in the first on Thursday. Yeah. And just
that
held
easily could have gotten out of control. Even Dougie Hamilton said after the game it could have been 5-0 after the first in favor of the other team.
Oh my God. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it should have been 1-0. It should have been 1-0, but Detroit screwed it up. It should have been 1-0.
Well,
I thought Vitek looked good.
He looked really good, but to a point in the first period, there was a few times where Detroit could have had an easy layup goal, and they flubbed it up. Like they had one where they hit the post twice, and they had one where Vitek was down and out by 3 feet away from the net, and the puck came right over. And I don't know who was in the slot, but he just—that's
the one that was to his blocker side, right? That's the one to his that was the one to his blocker side. Yes, in the first period. Yeah, that should have been a goal for Detroit, and they completely screwed that one up because Vitek was down and out, just absolutely down and out. That and what I think was the tying goal, or the third Detroit goal was not a tying goal, but that third Detroit goal were the only 2 times in that game where he looked out of position and somewhat confused. But other than that, holy hell, man, Vitek played well.
He looked like he was reading the play really well, like just moving side to side. Like you said, being in position at the right time. But he just looked like he was one step ahead of where the play was going, where the puck was going, rather.
Yeah.
He had to make a save in the first 10 seconds of that game. It was the Detroit came down on the right side. It was to his glove side, and he had to make a low pad save within the first 10 seconds, and he was dialed in from that moment. So he was tested very early in that game, and he proceeded to make an additional 9 saves after that before even the 10-minute mark. At least 9 saves. It could have been 10 or 11. I I just know that the benchmark of 9.5 minutes in, and Detroit had 10 shots on goal. And we spoke about it on Thursday night, and I said it earlier. It's like that. I hate that, because I hate when I have to deal with that personally. But holy hell, when I see my team allow that, it's like something else. But Vitek was dialed in, and he did what he had to do. That's why he's a professional. That's why he's got the job, and I don't, because he can do it at that level, and apparently I can't. But I'm still available if anyone needs me. I mean,
Tampa did get beat by Detroit. Listen, that's what's weird about the beginning of the year. Remember last year the Devils started out 0-2 and then went on that heater, and things changed. This is very early in the season. You can be excited.
Detroit's going to be good, though. They got a lot of young players.
They've
Larkin and bringing DeBrincat in there. They're gonna be better than I think people give them credit for.
DeBrincat's been good for me fantasy wise, but Detroit, Buffalo, and Ottawa to me are the three teams that are kind of following in the footsteps of the Devils, at least in the East. They're the three teams that I think people are going to have to worry about in the Eastern Conference that are amassing these little cores of young, good players that I think are being dismissed like the Devils were dismissed last season. But those teams are poised to surprise teams this year.
Especially Buffalo. Buffalo, if they can get their act together.
I want to see
some
Devin
prospects. They have some
I want to see Devin Levi. I want to see Devin Levi turn into a fantastic, amazing goalie in this league. Because Devin Levi, between his skills and the personality and the mindset, I think he would be amazing as a fantastic goalie in this league. And I hope for that. But those are my three teams that I think could be those sneakies. And then if you want to throw one from the West, Arizona. Those are my four sneaky teams. And I want to say at least two of those four are going to make the playoffs. At least two of those four teams. Pick who you want of those four. Two of those four teams will make the playoffs this year.
And I know Bedard gets all the love, but you got to look at somebody like Logan Cooley. Like some of these cats that are going to fly under the radar that are going to challenge Bedard. Bedard, yeah, he has the pedigree. He probably will win Rookie of the Year. But you have a lot of really, really good young talent in the NHL.
Yeah.
By the way, NHL, take advantage of that. Start marketing the teams and marketing the. I almost dropped a hard F-bomb on that one.
You almost Grant Marshall
the game. Oh, big time. Market the game a little bit better because you have the platforms to do it. You have ESPN, you have TNT, you have all these things. It's like you're really close to doing it the right way. Just come on. Let's get out of your own way. Stop doing stupid stuff and get out of your own way.
I'll tell you what.
There's other things that I mean by stupid stuff, but I won't get into that.
Beer Baron and Scotty and Sam, wouldn't it be fun to go out to Arizona? It would be a lot of fun.
Oh, it'd be a blast. It'd be a hoot.
Ton of fun. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Morgan, I do agree. I think when we were just talking about defensemen, I think Miller will get his shot, though, because Drew Smith will play himself out of the lineup. I'm Drew Smith.
Brendan Smith.
Brendan Smith. Drew Smith pitched his way out of the Mets lineup, but that's a different story altogether.
Drew Smith didn't even make the roster.
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
But yeah,
I don't know.
I think Brendan Smith will. I mean, he'll have another penalty or two in the next two games, and I think you're going to see Miller in there. And hopefully he turns it on, and he doesn't look as just, not with it like he did in the preseason. Yeah, like he looked really bad, but he's a veteran. He's a little bit more of a veteran player, so maybe obviously he's not going full stride and just trying to get his reps in and blah, blah, blah. And hopefully he can turn it on because like we mentioned earlier, there's guys down there in the AHL level that are ready to go. And not only with Nemec, but Hataka, is that how we say it again?
No, we always forget
Hataka, right?
Hataka.
Yeah, and he is the guy who came in from San Jose, who is a very solid defensive defenseman. So that might make for a really good pairing with a Luke Hughes, or down there at the AHL level with Simone Nemec as well. So if Miller and Smith aren't up to snuff, see ya. Put the kids in.
Yep.
Let them play.
Speaking of San Jose, I do have to point this out. Mac Black made 51 saves in a 2-1. I think it was a 2-1 loss for San Jose in his debut for the Sharks. 51 saves, and I saw some of them. Holy hell, did he look good? And
He'll
I
let
hope
in six
nothing.
in the
That's
next game. Don't
but
worry.
that's
fine.
his
But
his mo. He will look.
But I
so
know that's
good
his
where you're like,
MO.
yes,
And I know, and I've spoken about it. We've spoken about it so often, but I want to give credit where credit's due. Mac Black, good for you, 51 saves. But I have to say this, part of the goalie union, card carrying member. If you make 40 plus saves and you lose, you get to pick one of your teammates to just punch in the face for not doing enough for you in front of you. And I am completely for that. And I still love Mac Black. I know he's not with us anymore. I know the Mac Black is a very kind of controversial figure goalie-wise, but man, I got to give credit where credit's due. 51 freaking saves. But in a loss, someone should have felt Mac Black's fist in their face for that effort.
JP, if you're referring to did we give up too soon on Mac Black? The answer is no. I think it was about time.
Nope.
Injuries, and inconsistency. I mean, listen,
like
we
I
all
said,
thought he was going to be.
He'll give up 5 goals the next game.
Probably.
Yeah, on like 8 shots.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like, he would have games where he would play like this and he would be lights out and he'd be like, oh my God, the answer has finally come. And then he would have a game where he's like letting in the first 3 shots of the game and you're like, oh my God, this guy sucks.
Yeah. He was an enigma. You could never figure him out. But I wanted to bring that up because I saw that online and I was like, holy hell, 51 saves. Good for him. But
good for him, and we wish the best to him and Zetterland and Ahoytuk and everyone else. Mohamedulin who's over there. But we're happy with our man Timo in the Swiss connection here for the Devils. But I believe we are coming to the end of the show over here, ready to wrap things up and get into some final thoughts. For this upcoming week, we got 2 games? We got Monday and Friday.
Monday and Friday.
Yeah, I think it's just Monday and Friday.
Yeah,
light week, and that's how it's going to be in the beginning of the season. But for me, my final thought is, fellas, the 2 things that I said earlier: be ready to go at the start of the game, and man, that PK has got to get shored up a little bit. I know there's some new people on the roster over there. We talked about it a lot in the offseason. Filling in for Ryan Graves and Damon Severson, who ate up a lot of minutes on that penalty kill. Kevin Ball, those are some big skates to step into. You got yourself some big feet, some big eyebrows. So make them an evil way and then just, get in there and do your thing. I have the confidence that within the next 10 games or so, you're going to see the PK kind of even out a little bit more, and you're going to see Kevin Ball playing a much bigger role in there. Don't forget, he's never played a full season at the NHL level yet either. So this coaching staff has a lot of confidence in him, or else they wouldn't be putting him in that second pairing position. So I think you're going to see him just find his groove. Again, it's only 2 games into the season, but they got a nice test with Florida, even though Florida's banged up. I don't know. A bunch of people were saying it on the YouTube page. They're going to come in hungry, looking for a win. This will be a good test for the boys tomorrow. But the main thing is come out ready to play in that first period. You can't go and have 5-0, 6-0 shots in the first 5 minutes of the game. So be ready to go at puck drop and clean up that PK. Those are my final thoughts.
You know what? I'll go next. I'll say I'm excited for tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll see a bunch of you guys out there at American Whiskey. We're gonna have a great time. Pre-show, it's gonna be a great game. I have a good feeling. I feel like they're gonna come out a little jumping on their toes because they're saying the right things. They're saying we know what we need to do. We know what we need to fix, and they have the talent to do it. So they're gonna come out. They're gonna look good, almost as good as Suzanne Summers, who. Rest in peace. God got another angel. He got one hell of a one too. But Yeah, dude. I just want to see them fly in tomorrow, and hopefully they'll get on Florida early, and then they won't relent. Get on them early, keep going, keep pushing second, third, and just finish the game strong. A full 60-minute effort, boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm going to agree with both of you guys. Yeah. Full 60-minute effort. Lay off the barrage of shots. Lay off the raining pucks in the first period because that'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
But we're 2 games in, so this is the time to make those adjustments, and I know the Devils will do it. And here's my other final thought: we may be putting some Red and Crew Brew in some cans this week. Just want to throw that out
nice.
there. There may be some cans available come the weekend of and Crew Brew, and I'm ready not to drink one. I'm ready to drink like 50, and I'm ready, Max. Max, I'm going to throw this out specifically to Max. Max, I am ready to chug and Crew Brew with you in person at American Whiskey. So let's do it, dude. Let us chug some and Crew Brew together at American Whiskey live on Game Day Live.
Right.
Sam?
I just got to plug one thing. Well, first off, I want to thank the fans that came out Thursday and Friday to American Whiskey. A lot of people we've met, just very nice fans. A lot of compliments, a lot of hardcore listeners. Also, just want to let you know that I'll be out on the road Tuesday, October 24th for a Devil's Watch Party hosted by Danielle McCartan of WFAN to benefit the Center for Great Expectations. Honorary board member is Ken Danico. So Nick Villano and I will be out there at the Elementary. I think it's 58 Voorhees Lane in Hackensack, New Jersey. So
it's a good brewery. They got good beers there at Elementary.
Yeah. So so we'll have Game Day Live at 6 p.m. Eastern, and then there's a Q&A. Hopefully I can answer some of these questions. I don't know if I'm on the panel or not, but I know Nick is. I'll let him handle it. But
is Sam Wu? Sam Wu, I have a question. Are you a sham? Sam Wu, did you really sign
That's
that
not salad.
autograph, or was that
It's not a salad you're eating.
Sam Wu, was that a staged autograph signing? Was that staged?
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe someone would be there to videotape that at the same time. That was staged, Sam Wu.
Did you see that tweet out there? Let me tell you what happened. I
saw it.
Okay?
I saw it in person.
Yeah.
Sam Wu actually did sign a legitimate autograph.
Yeah.
It's not
it wasn't
fault.
staged. It was like, holy crap. You're the first guy that's ever asked me. So
it's not our fault
that
our best friend Durango Steve was there to videotape it.
Yeah, it was. That's what it is. I love the conspiracy theories about me on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. It's back. As soon as the Devils lose, the conspiracy theories are back. You know.
Oh yeah.
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 Sam Wu, was that staged? Was that a staged autograph? It was probably staged. It's amazing that you had a videographer right there.
Is it true that Mrs. Wu wanted you to eat a salad today? Did she spike it with some bacon bits? Anyway.
If Mrs. Wu really cared, she'd have you eat non-salad items to collect on the insurance money.
JP wants to know if Dolan Shorts guy, there was no drop off in your internet tonight. JP wants to know if Dolan finally got his check.
He must have. I guess I paid my bill.
I talked to Erica the other night. It's all good.
I must have paid my bill today. Yeah, there were no drop offs. There's gonna be a drop off in about 10 minutes, but
yeah,
maybe James
No, I'm just kidding. I just kicked him off. I kicked him off.
That's so rude. That's so rude.
All right, we got to get out of here. I was just joking.
Was that staged?
That was so staged.
No, I actually dropped it. His feed was great all night. I didn't have to bother with it. But anyway, I'm hoping that he comes back on. I was just kidding, Shorts guy. Is he there? Oh, there you go.
There he is.
That's,
There he is.
that's amazing. No one brings it up, and my internet freezes because we bring up that damn James Dolan and his stupid internet.
No, I just
Sam did it on purpose.
Oh my gosh.
all righty.
I still hate James Dolan.
Yeah.
It's him and his stupid team and his
All right.
stupid Knicks.
Well, want to thank all those tuning in, dropping the podcast in about 20 minutes. Beer Baron will be at American Whiskey at 6 p.m. Eastern for Game Day Live. Join
He's
Vinny.
He's signing autographs too, I hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but only if my camera guy's there, so I can stage it correctly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Get his good side.
Yeah.
Get his good side.
Yeah.
All righty. Getting out of here. Till next time, let's go Devils.